Well, anyway, Ptolemy is pretty much the first boss that will give you a decent run for your money, but he's not too hard because he doesn't have a lot of varied attacks. Ptolemy and his fun friends. Huh. This is Special Coiticus Corp. We're broadcasting clandestinely. Since we didn't have contact, let's at least do some bold propaganda. I like Ptolemy. He's pretty cool. Well, I'm pretty sure we'll butt heads with the rest of the special squad here eventually. There's the inner voice again. Yes, it is too obvious. Huh. They can basically, because they're outlaws, they can fly. They're outlaws and they have a plane. They can fly anywhere they want to. They don't care if they violate the airspace sovereignty of another country because they're trying to, take over the world. But we are a law-abiding group, law-upholding group. Therefore, we somehow have to convince the rest of the world to let us operate within their borders. Currently, we are only allowed to operate in the borders of Maria Boulay. So, Irving is going to try and solve that problem for us, and we get a little downtime. You know what that means for Ashley? That's right. He's going to go home and woo his lady. Oh, I see. Lilka has a bit of a crush on him. Right. Consider it forgotten. For some reason, I picture Brad, in his spare time, sitting in a library with a smoking jacket and a fez on, wearing a monocle, reading the great works of literature. And then, a monster busts in, and he calmly closes his book, takes his fez off, looks up, puts on his mechanical punch gloves, and then, just punches the monster to death. And then at that point I realize that my imagination has gone wild, and I probably should shut up now. Well, anyway, let's go to the town of Maria. After I check my hard drive. Hold on. Okay. Wonderful. I, just cleared out some space on my, LPing hard drive. We can go a little bit longer, I think. head back over to town. The town of Maria. Well, hello, Tony. Really? Don't tell him what? Really? Okie dokie. Tim is like way taller than the other two boys. Ah, they see right through you. Sure. It's about to make a class change. Hee hee hee. I don't quite get that joke. I think that was something that was lost in translation. I kind of get what they were going with that. You know, basically he was about to... I think he was trying to say that Ashley's about to take the relationship up to a new level. If that's a tiny piece because it's visible, and they talked about that one, you know, that piece that was like the size of a man's torso was a small piece back in the tower, you know, remember that it was kind of like a control. How much empathy do you need to like make a like gosh. Well, anyway, let's leave. It's questions like these that keep me up at night, though. Like, randomly, I'll sit there and think, how much... I'm like, I'll just sit there and start mumbling to myself. It's like, how does this work? Now, let's talk a little bit about more PS points. Now, I currently have completely maxed out up HP. At this point, you have a couple of choices for each individual character. And up HP is pretty much mandatory if you want to have an easier time in the game. However, I would like to point out that if you want to have a really challenging game, don't spend any of your PS points. It makes the game much harder. Much harder. I've done it. I did it once. And, yeah, much harder. At this point, you kind of have a couple of choices. Restore HP is a very good choice to pick, but you could also go with up parameter, up attack, up P attack, up P defend, up M defend. What I usually do is I get restore HP first. It's kind of boring, but it's very useful. It actually cuts down on the amount of healing you have to do by a lot, because like you'll be in a random battle and then like a monster will hit you for, you know, 30-40 points of damage, and then all of a sudden you've healed 15% of your max HP. Well, that could be a couple of hundred, you know, points of healing. So even, I mean, you're getting healed for like way more than the damage you're taking. Allows you to stay up in tip-top fighting shape, excuse me. Well, that wasn't very long, was it? Bye. As he walks off. So our next mission is to deliver a letter to the Queen of Silvaland. The live reflectors, huh? You may remember those from the first game. I remember the first time. Okay, in the first game, you have to punch the live reflector. I think it is. And while the screen is still shaking, you can go in and get into a secret dungeon that leads you to the ultimate boss, secret boss of the game, Ragula. Well, I tried something similar in this game for like hours. The first time I beat it, and then like I looked, and this is before I had the internet. But so yeah, when I got to school, like that Monday, we had some free time in the library to do what we wanted to on the internet, and I actually went to game FAQs and looked up this game, and I found out that you actually can't do anything to the live reflectors in this game. Not like you could in the first game. Anyway, the live reflector is right over here in this forest. And they don't work. So, if you go in here, and there's 3 buttons. Ah, okay. Well, there's not enough power to the generator, so there's a door there, so let's investigate. Has to be Odessa. Let's bust in with guns blazing. Die, terrorists! You're not terrorists. You are children. I have a spider bite on my belly, and it doesn't hurt, but it feels weird. Luckily, I was not bit by a poisonous spider, although I'm gonna have to watch it because the spiders around where I live, they carry staff quite a bit, and even though the spider's not poisonous, it might as well be poisonous because this particular type of spider, they almost always carry staff. Although it's been about a week since I got bit, so haven't had any sign of having a staph infection. So hey, there's that. Hooray! Well, okay then. Let's see. Everyone's at full. One second.